Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Thursday. Thank you all for joining us for Self-Storage Unlocked, which is powered by the SBOA. Today, we have the Ask the Marketing Experts panel. We have quite the lineup for you. I'm super excited about this one. So without further ado, I am going to introduce my guests. And for those that don't know who I am, I'm Jessica. I'm the Vice President of the Storage Business Owners Alliance, better known as the SBOA. And I'm happy to be your host today. And like I said, without further ado, I'm going to introduce my first guest, Holly FIORELLO from CallPotential. Hi, Holly.
Hi, Jessica.
Thanks for joining us. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Do I do an intro now?
Yeah, go ahead and do your intro.
Okay. I'm Holly FIORELLO. I'm the Director of Marketing for CallPotential, which is a communication platform that specializes in call tracking, routing, and customer relationship management. You probably know us from our awards that we've won for our call center software, where operators can create their own internal call center, as well as our lead management and past due automated rent reminder programs. I'm also involved with the marketing for Nextdoor Self-Storage, which is the owner of CallPotential's portfolio, and we have 19 locations in Illinois. So thanks for inviting me, Jessica. I look forward to learning from these brilliant women on the marketing panel.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Holly. My next guest is STACIE Maxwell from Universal Storage Group. Hey, STACIE.
Hey, Jessica. Thanks for the intro. I'm STACIE Maxwell with Universal Storage Group, also known as Home of the Hat Lady. We provide third-party management, consulting, training, developmental services. If there's anything related to operating your self-storage business, we have got you completely covered. I've been in the industry for about 20 years now, and I'm looking forward to this great topic today and sharing our knowledge. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, STACIE. And my next guest is grace.totty from Absolute Storage Management. Hey, Grace.
Hi, Jessica, and hi, everyone else who's logged in and is watching us live. This is really exciting. I'm happy to be here. Thank you to the SBOA for putting us together, and thanks, Jessica, for hosting. We've got a great agenda planned, so again, thanks. As Jessica said, my name is Grace. I'm with Absolute Storage Management. I've been in the industry for 9 years, and all of that has been with ASM. We're one of the largest and most tenured private third-party management companies in the industry. We manage about 135 properties in the most 16 southeastern states. So if you're looking at your map, we're as far west as Texas, go on up to Illinois, Wisconsin, down through the Carolinas, and color it in. So again, happy to be here today. I'll be talking from the marketing perspective, and so super excited to be with you all.
Thanks so much, Grace. And last but not least, we might have done this in order of shortest to tallest. I have ALONNA Ross from storageauctions.com. Hey, ALONNA.
Hey, and good morning. I'm on the West Coast, so it is still morning for me. But I am with storageauctions.com. I've been in the industry for 13 years now. I am their business development manager. We have an online auction platform. I have the pleasure of working with both management companies that are on this call. So it's great to be surrounded by some wonderful women. I'm looking forward to this event. And thank you, Jessica, for putting this on.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining. And before I bring everybody back on stage, we're going to do a couple housekeeping items and a few polls that we would love for your feedback on. So housekeeping, you're on SBOA's live YouTube channel. Please go ahead and hit subscribe if you already haven't subscribed. If you like today's content and video, please hit the like button. If you don't like it and you hit the dislike button, we'll have a conversation at a later date. And then again, I see tons of comments coming in. Hi, Max. Hi, CJ. Hi, Carol. I mean, there's so many people from the industry on here. I see all of your comments coming in. When we get to the Q&A portion and you have questions for these lovely ladies on the panel today, because they are some of the best and the best of the best in the industry as it relates to marketing, go ahead and put those questions in there, and I'll be happy to facilitate those over to everyone. So next up, we're going to do some polls. They'll be put into the chat, and if you can answer, that would be great. So first one, are you a member of the SBOA? Hit 1 for yes, 2 for no. Come on, guys, you got to hit answer. 1 or 2, 1 yes, 2 no. There we go. Give you a couple more seconds to keep answering these polls for us. 1 for yes, you are a member. 2 for you're not. Listen, guys, you should be. Membership is currently free, and I don't know how much longer it's going to remain free. So get in while it's free. Awesome. Thank you, everyone who responded. Next poll. Do you currently own a self-storage facility, or are you looking to own a self-storage facility, or neither? 1 for currently owned, 2 for looking to own, 3 for neither. Give you a couple minutes. Keep those answers coming in. If you're looking to own, please get in touch with the SBOA. We have some great resources for you. Our old affiliate company that we're still in contact with is List Self Storage. Check List Self Storage out online. They have all the listings of available properties across the United States out there for you to take a look at. We know brokers in the industry. We would be happy to get you guys connected. All right, next poll. Do you self-manage your location if you currently own, or do you use third-party management teams to manage your location? 1 for self-managed, 2 third-party. And if anyone's interested in third-party management, you have 2 of the best companies on here with us today. We're connected with both ASM and USG. We know others out there like CubeSmart, Life Storage as well. There's plenty of them out in the industry that are all great resources for you. All right, and next poll. Do you utilize a call center or call center software to ensure you are not missing any calls to your locations? 1, you use a call center. 2, you use the software. 3, you're not using either. If you're interested in software, Holly's on the call today. She's a great connection over at CallPotential. You guys know as well as I do, every missed phone call is a potential missed rental. We don't want to leave money on the table ever. So call centers are critical in this space to ensure that, no calls are getting missed while your managers maybe are out touring the property with a potential new tenant or out there doing marketing or other efforts for the facility. All right, and last one. Do you host live auctions at your facility or online auctions? 1 for live at facility, 2 for online. We have Alonna Ross with us today. She is the auction expert over there, especially as it relates to online, but Alonna keeps in tune with all of the different lien laws and updates state by state, so she's a great resource. If you ever have questions about how to properly auction off someone's unit that is in default, Alonna is a great resource for you. I love the comments coming in. They're hilarious. All right, everyone, thank you so much for answering all of those polls. I'm going to bring all of the ladies back on screen with me, and we are going to get started. So we're going to start with something fun. We want the audience to participate with us as well. So we're going to do a little bit of an icebreaker. Each one of these ladies is going to tell us 2 truths and 1 lie about themselves. And you, as the audience, need to guess which one is the lie. So I'm going to go in order of screen. Alonna, you go first.
All right. My first one, I had a pirate-themed wedding. I have been to every state in the United States, and I have played volleyball.
What do you ladies think?
I think volleyball.
You think that's the lie?
Yeah, it's too tame. The other ones are so Alonna.
Oh, wait, yeah. And she always likes to joke that she played mini golf when people joke with her how tall she is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go pirate-themed wedding, but we'll see.
I think that's true. The pirate theme wedding's true. I think it's the traveling to every state in the United States. I don't think she's done it yet.
She's pretty close, if not.
I'm with Holly. I think the volleyball's wrong. I think that's her lie.
Okay. Well, go ahead, Alonna. Tell us which one's the lie.
Even though I'm 6'1", I'm terrified of playing volleyball. The idea of being swiped at me does not sound fun. And I was married on International Talk Like a Pirate Day and had a pirate wedding. So
Oh my! I need to see if there's photos of this because
there are.
I'm sure there should be. I have to see this. I did not know that, so I
I
definitely.
have been to every state, Stacie.
You have? That's great. That's awesome. You're ahead
Very
of me in that
impressive.
goal, so that's good.
That's awesome. All right, Holly, you're up next.
Okay, so I have met BB King.
Ooh.
I have met Dwayne Johnson. I have met John Cena.
Ooh, I like the theme here, Holly.
Well, like is BB King still alive? I'm like really dating myself on trivia knowledge here. He's been gone for a while. I'm gonna say you didn't meet BB King.
I'm going to
I'll go
say
with that.
not John Cena. He doesn't seem very nice.
You don't think he wants to meet me?
No, I don't think he likes meeting people in general.
Oh my gosh.
Matt, oh my gosh, that's so funny. Can you see John Cena? You guys get it? You can't see me.
All right, the audience
I
is
love it.
saying BB King. So, all right, Holly, tell us which one it was.
Everybody got their guesses in? Okay. I have not met Dwayne Johnson.
Really?
Even
The
though,
Rock.
yeah, so he's actually from the town that I live in, but obviously he doesn't live here now. So he's like kind of a celebrity here. I met BB King when I was 4 in an elevator, and he had Lucille, and my dad said he let me like strum the guitar. So that's like a really cool story.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. I just like verified with him too, in case anybody doesn't believe me. I got screenshots. And I met John Cena. I lived in Tampa, and he lived in that area, so I'd run into him like all the time. Like he was at the place where we go get our hair cut, or he'd be at the mall. Like we'd be at Brass Tap, and he'd be like across the way. So it's kind of interesting. He stands out a lot. Like he's gigantic, and he drives this gorgeous muscle car. So like when he rolls up, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
You know who
no
that
doubt. That's awesome.
Nice.
Very cool to know. All right, Stacie, you're next.
Okay, let's see. I am actually certified to teach art in grades K through 12. So I have an art background. My coworkers and family and friends all call me either Staciepedia or Rain Mom because I'm queen of useless facts. And I got into the self-storage industry courtesy of my aunt, Ann Ballard, little known fact.
Ooh.
I'm stumped. I'm going to say you're not related to Anne, but maybe you are.
I'm going to say Anne. I don't feel like Anne's your aunt, but I feel like you did get into it from somebody because I feel like we talked about this.
I'm gonna say Art.
If Anne is your aunt, her new nickname for me is no longer the Hat Lady. It's Auntie Anne.
She does have 8 siblings, so I mean, you have to think of.
Ooh, interesting.
I'm going to go with Anne's not your
Sarah
aunt.
Beth with the fun facts.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
What is it, Stacie? I'm so anxious to hear.
Are you ready? All right, I'm not related to Anne. I do like to call her my Aunt Anne though, because she's the cool aunt. She's the one who tells me all, she's like, let me tell you the real thing about that. So
That's
She's
awesome.
great.
Anne is great. We love Anne. Everyone loves
Awesome.
Anne.
everyone loves Anne. I wish I was related to Anne, but kind of.
Me too.
You can claim her. It's okay.
I'm claiming her now. She's mine.
Awesome.
That is perfect.
All right, Grace, go ahead.
All right. I am going to do 3 truths and a lie. One, totally impromptu. It is that, well, I'm working from home and the yard guys, my next door neighbor's yard crew just showed up. So you guys can figure out if that's a truth or a lie pretty soon. But I'll be muting myself if I'm not speaking here. But I am from a very Italian family, one of 6 children. As you can tell, I talk with my hands all the time. Jessica and I have bonded over that before. We actually grew up in the Delta, Mississippi Delta, we were farmers. And so I'm really good at whistling because of that fact. And also very musically inclined. I can play the mandolin.
Ooh.
All of that sounds really impressive, doesn't it? But something's a lie.
I'm going to say you don't play an instrument. Maybe you do.
I'm going to say the number of siblings you have is wrong.
I'm going to say you're not from Mississippi.
Yeah, you're not from Mississippi.
You're definitely Italian because I'm married to one and it's like Italian sign language. So
It's a universal language. That is awesome. Well,
All right.
although I did live in the Mississippi Delta, we were not farmers, and I cannot whistle to save my life.
I really can't either.
Yeah.
I really can't either. Well, thank you so much for participating in that fun little icebreaker, ladies. I really appreciate it. So, all right, guys, we're going to jump into the nuts and bolts of this today. We're going to talk marketing, and we really want audience participation. That's what we gathered this panel for. If you have any types of marketing questions for your facility, now is the time to ask here live while we're all together. But to kind of get the conversation and juices flowing, I'm going to talk a little bit about websites and online presence because I saw some pretty interesting facts the other day that I'm going to rattle off here for you all. So recent stats show that 75% of online rentals and 77% of online reservations are driven through your Google listing. 93% of consumers are using the web to find local listings. Of those 93%, 76% of self-storage consumers are converting via local listings. So ladies, let's talk about local listings, Google My Business, the importance of accurate information, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, etc. Whoever wants to dive in first, go ahead. Don't all jump at once.
I think it sounds a little high, personally. I can see it driving a lot of traffic and a lot of calls, but I think 75% is really quite high, especially when AdWords takes up so much of the so much of the search results. I mean, what do you ladies think?
Our data actually shows that our numbers are a little bit higher than that 75%, that we're getting closer to 80% of our traffic is from Google My Business listings specifically, not just all listings. And so I think it's really, really important to make sure you're claiming those and keeping them up to date, especially paying attention if you take over a property, making sure that it's correctly named and the phone number is up to date. And also, if you're like driving to and from your property, actually use Google My Business to make sure that that PIN is at your office and not in the back of the building. Because sometimes that happens, whether it's an existing page or it's a newly created page, that PIN kind of travels around a little bit. And from a user perspective, we don't want somebody trying to access our facility on the backside. You want them to come straight to the front door.
I do a lot of grassroots marketing when I'm looking at storage facilities, and I can't tell you how many times the phone number is wrong, the hours are wrong, because I'll go to the facility and it's like, all right, they open at 9 a.m. and then the sign says 10. I'm like, okay, guess I'm not stopping here. Or I look at their photos and I'll judge if I'm going to stop by a facility by their photos. I've gone to a few where I'm like, I might be murdered here, so I'm not going to go there. So there are some scary facilities, and it's marketing as, you know, your photos are out there. Make sure they're good, because that's your first impression visually is what they see online.
And take your photos in the summer, not the winter.
Yes.
Look a lot more inviting and nice.
Yes. And
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to take your photos on the brightest day possible, just a well-lit day. Even a little bit of cloud is okay. Because if you do it on too bright of a day with too much direct sun, you'll have these harsh shadows that make your buildings look creepy. So be careful with that as well. And as far as listings go, I think the most important thing is, you know, your Google My Business is one of them, but then you have multiple listings, local listings throughout the web. So making sure that you claim and verify every single one of those listings and make sure that every piece of information matches perfectly, because that's what Google is looking for, is a bona fide business with matching citations across the web. That's going to help you tremendously.
Yeah, updated operational hours. There's nothing I can't stand more when I'm trying to Google something to see if they're open, and I pull up and it says they're open till 8 or 9 p.m. and I'm right at 9 p.m. or maybe 8:45 and they're closed. So everything's critical as far as the updates. Are any of you with your Google My Business using voice optimization? Because a lot of people, you know, with these lovely little smartphones and devices are just, hey, pull up local storage facility. Have you guys all done that for your own sites?
Yeah, so Siri pulls from Apple Maps, so it's really important, and Yelp pulls from Apple Maps. So it's important, if you want Siri to be able to find you, that you have your name, address, and phone number on that platform. I've really done more than that. I don't know if you guys have done anything different.
Yeah, it's exactly
randomly
what
asked Alexa. She might respond to me because she's sitting next to me. But I asked Alexa about storage the other day, and she had quite a mouthful, but she did tell me the facility's near me.
Really? That's nice.
Yep.
That darn Alexa, she's super smart, right?
she is.
She's
all of those different platforms pull from, so like Alexa pulls from Yelp, I think, and Google might pull from Google My Business, and Siri's going to pull from
Apple
Maps. Thank you. And so that's what Stacie's saying. It's important to claim all of your listings because they all feed to different types of users at different points in time.
Very cool. CJ says she added code to her site as well for voice search.
Awesome.
Thanks for that tip, CJ. I love it. I do have a question from the audience. I'm going to go ahead and pop this up on screen for you. This is from Matt. What marketing strategy is overused or something that facilities do that may not be as effective as they think?
I'm going to just jump out and say pay-per-click. If you are doing a good job optimizing your website and claiming your local listings and making sure that your organic reach is out there, then you can dial back on the pay-per-click. As self-storage operators, we struggle all the time because we have these large REIT companies out there that have the deepest pockets as far as their budget goes, and just knowing that you're never really going to outbid them on pay-per-click on the keywords. So the optimization becomes that much more important because you can actually go around the pay-per-click ads right into the organic results and score that way instead. So I think a lot of people are doing pay-per-click, and there are lots of good ways to do it. But I think that just tossing money out there and letting it spend itself off, you got to have a strategy, and you have to have a good solid plan for that to be cost effective for you.
For sure. This is a good segue into like the next topic I wanted to bring up. Let's talk about the different types of campaign strategies and when they are best to be executed.
I think that's a really great question that can connect with Matthew's proposed question there. We take a perspective of what is the property and the owner, what are they trying to achieve? And then we pick from different marketing strategies and different advertising strategies, because those are two different things, to fill those needs. And so I would say if you're like in a heavy lease up period, if you're a brand new construction, you're trying to lease up, you got to pull from both sides of the table. And so you have to do kind of those marketing strategies, which is a really well-developed and SEO optimized website, plus some social media, plus some of these advertising options, which are going to be like a paid campaign that Stacie just mentioned, or you could do Groupon campaigns have been helpful, Spotify campaigns. There's lots of different platforms to use. And then we tailor some of that back or scale it back based on occupancy. As your occupancy grows, we spend less or bid lower too. We use square foot as a huge and very cost-effective lease-up strategy. And so I would just keep an eye on where your spend is and what those returns are and what you need to get from each type of campaign. Because like square foot, we're trying to get leads that turn into rentals. because you pay per rental. With PPC, you might try to get first page placement for the first 3 months, and then that first page placement needs to turn into leads and convert into rentals. So just keep an eye on some of those metrics and scale back when it's no longer profitable.
So I want to disagree with Stacey a little bit because I love PPC and AdWords, and we're really like hyper focused on, you know, what search terms and what campaigns are driving rentals. You know, beyond just the digital rentals that we can track, tying in the phone calls to those. So we know that this phone call came in and they ended up renting and it was attributed to this campaign. So I know we're all high occupancy right now, right? Like we talked about this on our planning call, but we're high occupancy, but we're still raising our rates like pretty aggressively. And to be able to have those renters that are going to pay like a 50% premium over what our street rates are, we want to have those qualified leads. So I really like AdWords for that. If we go back to Matt's question, I would say the marketing strategy that I think is kind of overused is social media. Other than posting if the store's open or your general features and being a lifeline for someone if they like to use social. I think if you're focusing on every day, you know, stressing out about coming up with content, that's not going to be as big of a return for you as if you spent that time on, you know, like Grace was saying, your metrics and whether or not those are converting, doing those reporting. I think that's a better use of your time. Yeah.
And I just want to clarify too, Holly, when I said pay-per-click, I didn't mean don't do pay-per-click. I just mean if you're going to do it, have a proper strategy, and you know, don't just keep throwing money out there and you know, maybe you're 95% full. You should scale back on pay-per-click at that point. So make sure you have a strategy in place. I think a lot of folks out there just do pay-per-click because you're supposed to do pay-per-click and they don't really know what that means. So you have to have that strategy in place. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I've talked to many owners and operators about all of their different marketing and advertising, and I'll ask them, you know, what return are you getting on it? How many of, you know, rentals have you seen? They're like, oh, I don't know. So
Right.
it's
You're
like, you're
a lot of people.
throwing money out there because you think you're supposed to, but you can't actually, they aren't actually tracking. And a lot of people, they just think they're supposed to have that plan in place, but they do not do anything. And I see the question about the dollar move-ins. I'm not a fan of them. I've never really seen them work. They move in, they move out. So
yeah. So the dollar move-ins we've found, and you know, I didn't mention earlier, but Universal, we have about 70 properties, and we found that the dollar move-ins actually attract the wrong kind of clientele in most cases. The folks who we all love them so much, they move in for $1 and they bring in their 10 by 30 of tires or any other thing that they're just trying to get rid of for $1, and they abandon the unit, and you know, then you're lost. So we actually do more structured discounts, maybe 50% off for your first 3 months, so that it spreads that discount over time. So you're still getting a little money in the door. The discount does burn off. You can go up to regular rates and do your normal processes with those folks. You get a better quality of renter who's going to pay on time and not abandon their stuff. We feel that's what we're finding.
Yeah, I love that. So this kind of will segue into what we were just talking about. So a lot of people we're hearing back from in the industry are darn near 100% occupied, if not 100% occupied. So when you're 100% occupied, what should you market? What would you suggest that these owners and operators market to their local markets?
I think you should never be 100% occupied, right? Isn't that what they tell you?
Yes.
Where's the ring bell?
Yes, Holly, I think that's right. Operationally, we take a stance. We should not aim for 100% occupied, but with the economy and the trends that we're seeing with people not moving out and different housing related
issues,
causing people to need more storage. Industry wide, we're higher. A lot of people are at 100 and don't want to be at 100 and are raising rates to try to not be at 100. But I think what is cool is this gives us an opportunity to shift our focus. And so, like, started the conversation with your listings. Take this time as a property manager. You know your facility way more than any director or vice president of marketing or somebody even your regional manager. Like, you just know your facility more intimately. And so Google yourself, get on Bing, get on Yelp, and I would say audit your listings. Like, make sure that the information is correct, that the pictures look good. I think this is also a great opportunity maybe to ask for reviews and try to increase our star ratings on all of those different platforms, so that when occupancies, I mean, I don't want this to happen.
Maybe not ask for that review right after you raise their rates.
No, maybe right after they move in, or when they're still happy.
But I think marketing, to your point, Grace, I agree with you. Marketing back to your current customers is what you can do. You can, ask them, of course, to leave reviews. You can ask them to do referrals. If you have customers that have been with you for a year or more, you can turn them into a gold star referral and give them double referral rewards when they send someone your way. Now, this is all based on the fact that you're trying to also create inventory by doing rental increases to turn over those units so you actually have something to sell. And we also, during our pre-planning meeting, we talked about the danger of increasing rates so much. What I'm worried about on the horizon is once everything settles down and people start working and housing gets a little more level, if we raise our rates way too much now, trying to churn and create, vacancy out there so that we can lease it up, where are we going to be in a year when everything's settled off? So just kind of weigh that out as you operate your property.
Yeah, Stacey, let me expand on that a little bit, because I did see a question recently in one of the Facebook forums that I followed. Someone was asking about the proper way to do a rate increase. Are you increasing by a certain percentage, or are you just pushing straight to the current street rate? Like, what's your strategy there?
We use a percentage. We go by percent. We don't push them straight to street rate. We try to close the gap, the variance between their current rate and the street rate. And we do generally raise street rates before we do rental increases. But so, you have a bigger gap there, but we do try to increase it just by percentage. Percentage is what's fair. If you just say every customer gets a $5 increase, well, that's great for the guy who's paying $120, but it's not great for the guy who's paying $50. You just gave him a huger, percentage increase than the other. So we do use percentage for that.
Anybody else? Grace, what's your strategy?
Yeah, we take most of our operational decisions are because the property needs percentages or it needs a flat rate, because we had a really aggressive, like, I know we had a conversation about the $1 move in, but sometimes you need more aggressive discounts to fill occupancy, because that's what the owner needs, that's what the bank needs. And so that type of strategy is going to have a different rate increase trajectory in different steps. I think overall what we're seeing in the last year is the strategy is we're changing how frequent it happens. And so overall, just like Stacey said, taking that percentage concept, but it's happening a little bit more frequently because we need to drive people. We need people to find storage alternatives right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure. And now
Grace,
Matt,
I'll touch on with what
ahead,
Grace
Dawn.
said is how she said every single property is slightly different. I've talked to many owners where they're like, well, I do it because so-and-so does it. What works for them is not always going to work for you. So really evaluate what you have, because like you said, that special might not work for you, or it might work better at a different location. There are so many people who just think they're supposed to do a certain thing because their competitors around them are doing it, but it doesn't mean it works.
Right. And
Yep.
now Matt's asking, when it comes to raising rents due to being full, what is the best marketing to counteract consumer complaints about the raising of the rent?
Use this time to ask your happy customers for reviews. we're seeing that, Matthew, and it's not because operationally we're failing, but we're seeing more negative reviews because this is the point in time that we are in. We're trying to raise rates a little bit more aggressively than we have in the past. Consumers are pushing back. I would push back if I was in this situation. And so that's the natural pattern. And so use this time to ask for positive reviews that help offset some of those negative reviews that you'll see.
And what Grace is saying about reviews, I think all the ladies here, and you should as well, be very, I don't want to say aggressive, but proactive. If you have a good moving experience, ask every single person that comes through, for a positive review, because then when your rate hikes do hit, it's not going to pull your star rating down by a ton. Really, it's not. And I mean, out of how many that you raise, how many leave bad reviews? It's probably the number one reason that self-storage facilities get bad reviews. And if they're not, if your neighbor down the street has an extra space or a public storage, they're going to have them too. So, that's something that you can kind of, if you do damage control about raising rates, like it's that's what the rate is.
When we raise rates and we have a customer call, as a matter of fact, I took a call earlier from one of our facilities in Louisiana today from a customer. She is over the age of 65, so she has a senior discount. She's on a fixed income, and she got a rental increase letter that her amount that was going up was almost a little over $20, $21. And she said, I'm the senior, I'm on a fixed income. This may not seem like a lot of money, but it's a lot to me. And so, of course, the first thing we're going to do is say, well, let's talk about this and let's negotiate what's going to be a little more, because we have to, obviously the cost of operating this property is going up, and, we have to maintain the facility itself. And so that's why we do our rental increases, to be able to, continue to provide this excellent service and, clean property to you. We understand your situation. So how about, and also she had a discount, the senior discount. So then we get into this language where we talk about, instead of rental increase, we talk about a discount reduction. So you did have a 20% discount for senior. So now maybe you only have a 15% discount for senior. And that's kind of how we meet that happy medium. So you explain to the customer that you're, $30 less than our current street rate, that, if somebody were to walk in and rent the unit today, they'd be paying $30 more than you're paying. And I'm only going to increase you $10 this time. So you still have a substantial discount compared to street rate, but you're not, going all the way up to the full level either. And 9 times out of 10, customers really respect that conversation if you're just honest with them about it and explain, that discount reduction. Thank you, Tommy. So, yeah.
Hey, Tommy, all of us say hi to Tommy. We love Tommy and Storage.
Hey, Tommy.
Now, let's, I found
but
another
I love
one.
the empathy, Stacey.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sorry. I was telling Stacey, I love the empathy behind that. You're right. That is probably a lot. And at the end of the day, there are people, they are people behind renting the unit.
They are. They're humans, and they have a story too. And as anyone who's ever sat behind the desk at a self-storage facility and rented units to people, that you're going to hear every story, and you're going to hear everything that's going on in their lives. They just need that ear. We call it storage counseling, So when you can have that transparent conversation with them about what's going on in their lives and explain to them what's going on in the property, and just find that happy medium, even if they've already left a negative review, you still have the opportunity to say, okay, and especially when you respond to the review online, because you should respond to every review, you can put something in there to the effect of, I appreciate our discussion today. I hope that we, we're able to come to a resolution that's satisfactory to you. And we hope, we'll continue for years and years, with, you being our valued customer, and other language like that. So having that conversation with them before or after they've done a review can lead to them actually changing their review if they've already left a review, or leaving a better review if they haven't. So.
And
It's
not only
amazing
that,
to me how
like-
many people are mean in their responses to reviews, because I'll read them and they're like, I don't know what you were talking about. I was perfectly pleasant. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't respond so negative, because now I'm expecting that negative experience because you are negative.
Yeah. And I think if you can show empathy, like Holly was talking about, like the word of mouth marketing that you're going to get from empathizing with them and being sympathetic is going to go a long way. And for all of you that don't know, word of mouth advertising, you don't have to pay for necessarily, other than by just doing a good job in servicing your tenants the proper way. I'm going to lead into this question, and I know Max from Gate 5 is on here, and he actually responded to this on the forum that I saw on Facebook. Give us some strategies and ideas on preventing or trying to prevent new competition in your area. Max, I think, commented that he always likes to let his tenants and customers know that he is locally owned and operated, that he is hands-on with the facility. Give me some thoughts on that, ladies.
I think Max is on the money there with proclaiming that, and making sure people know that he's locally owned and operated. What we try to do at Universal is we actually create a chart that we put in the office that has our store and 4 or 5, 6 different competition stores in the area, and list our features and benefits and check off whether the other folks have those features and benefits. And you can get really creative with this. You have to be 100% honest. You can't say that they don't have something if they do, or vice versa. But you can come up with lots of features and benefits. And the goal for that is to prove that you're actually the best value as opposed to the lowest price. Because even if you're going to be a higher price, you are going to provide a better value to the people, as opposed to just rolling up and throwing your stuff in a unit. So there's a lot more features and amenities that you can advertise as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Stacie. I saw that at one of your presentations. I think at ISS, Ann's presentation showed that table chart, and I love that. And I would highly encourage anyone on this webinar to reach out to Stacie to get a copy of that. It's really a great one-pager eye shot of this is why we're leading this market and dominating this market. I think that's really, really well put together by your team.
Did you want me to show it? I have it available.
Yeah, of course. Yes,
cool.
Got to hit share
Stacie
screen.
as an amenity and then check.
What was that?
Well, there you go.
For managers, I would have Stacie. Check. Competition, check, Stacie.
Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to share my screen here.
Go ahead.
And there we go. Okay, so this is, I hope you guys can see this. This is actually this is a slide from our internal third phase of training. We have 4 phases of training here at Universal. So the third phase of training is all about marketing and sales. So this is what we call a comparison chart. And you can see, I don't know if you can see my mouse or not, but the property itself is old. It was built in 1987. So it's definitely got some age on it. And it's, traditional drive up self-storage. They did add a small amount of climate control storage, and it's very old, but it is the neatest and cleanest facility in the area. And these other facilities that are listed, they're newer, they're fresher, more recently built, but they're not as clean, and they do not carry the same features and amenities that we have. So even though we're an older property, we're still going to be the best value. And in a lot of cases, we are more expensive than the competition as well, but people still pay. This property stays at about 93% occupied year round. So
wow,
gives a
those
visual
stars and that color, that's eye candy all the way. I just love it. Great job.
It really is. It's a nice little marketing slick. And then you guys actually put a board up in your office space with it too, right?
Sure. We advise the managers, they can either create this as a handout and put some other information on the back, like maybe testimonials, a mention of our referral, picture of the team, things like that, like a box chart, how many boxes you need to pack up this many bedrooms, something like that. So you can do it like a double-sided handout, or we print them large and put them on an easel or on the wall in the office so that you can compare. And they do need to be updated frequently based on competition. And, so we do regular comp surveys at all properties too, to see what the competition's up to and what we need to do to beat them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Stacie, I'm going to direct this one to you again, and then ladies obviously chime in because they presented on this and I love it. They do what they call 3D marketing, because we all know if you come in and you're sending your managers out to market your facility with a business card or a brochure, it's most likely going to land in the trash. So Stacie's team does a really great job of making it fun and engaging by giving them something that's tangible, whether it's a bag of candy or something. So Stacie, talk a little bit about your 3D marketing that you guys do.
Well, you really just have to give them something 3-dimensional when you go out and do your marketing visits. And right now with COVID, it's kind of hard to shake the hands and kiss the babies because of social distancing. So we've advised our managers to create little gift baskets that have multiple goodies of the same thing. And maybe you go and visit, stay at a distance, and then put the basket down so they can retrieve it after you at a safe distance away. But you definitely want to hand them something. My catchphrase is when you go out marketing, you want to take something and leave something. So you want to take something away from them, meaning their business cards. You can follow up with them later. And then you want to leave them something. Of course, we do cups. Like I have a cup here that's got our branding on it, that's got pins in it right now. But we'll take these cups drop in, your business card, your referral card, a pen, a nail file, a bandage hold, like Band-Aid holders, anything that you have for marketing, notepads and things. Drop in some candy on top of that, throw it down a little cellophane bag, tie it up, and it's like a little miniature gift basket. And it makes the perfect presentation item to give when you're out there marketing. So give them something three-dimensional. Food is also very, very good. You can go buy food items in bulk and create little, what we call goodie tags to go on those, like the popcorn, if you're popping out of space, pop into ours, something like that is a cute thing. Or store your mementos with us and give mementos, breath mints. There's all kinds of ideas you can come up with out there. Everybody loves food. Everybody loves random snacks in the middle of your workday. So, when you're out there doing your marketing visit, you're visiting people who are at work. So you want to make it nice, short and sweet. Be cognizant of the fact that they're at work too. Don't waste their time. Get in, make a good impression, and get out.
One of my favorite Las Vegas giveaways is from you guys, Stacey, when it was like the Vegas survival little pouch with Tylenol.
Yes.
And something else in it. I think maybe candy. I was like, this is so nice.
It had breath mints, Band-Aids, Tylenol. I think it had Tums in there.
Yeah. That's great.
It was the Your Solution pack. Yeah.
That was our quickest giveaway as well when we did Vegas. We did the let us take the headaches out of your auctions, and we gave away Tylenol. That bowl was empty.
Yep.
So,
I think the overall message is give them something they're going to use, because then it stays around. Paper gets thrown away.
For sure.
Yeah, I challenge our property managers we do a very similar 3D. I love that term. I might internally steal it too. But I challenge them, if you can give them, whether it's an apartment manager that you're speaking with, or a lot of our properties will go and strategically market to retirement homes as well. If we can give them something that sits on their desk and has our name on it, that's additional eyeballs. And one of the marketing stats that I love is somebody has to see your brand or interact with your brand 7 times before they are comfortable enough to make a transaction with you. And so the more opportunities that we can have our logo in front of eyeballs, that's awesome. And it's as simple as a big tub of Germex from the Dollar Tree. You take off the Germex label and you slap on a water bottle label, which are cheap. And that's got your logo and your information on it. And that sits on their countertop and is used every day in this environment that we're in right now. But even post or pre-pandemic, that was a hit.
Yep. But pre-pandemic, we were doing like candy jars with our logo on it, things like that. I love the idea of hand sanitizer. I mean, that's huge right now. So I'm going to steal that one back from you. There you go.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk some physical on the ground marketing. Like, we thought we were in the clear, I think, a little bit with the pandemic, and unfortunately we're not. I live in Florida. I'm in like the petri dish of it right now, unfortunately. So give us some ideas of on the ground marketing and how to remain safe. And then obviously, if you don't feel comfortable with that, some other ideas that would be good alternatives for people.
I will say I did this yesterday. I actually went with the Arizona Self-Storage Association. We visited like 5 towns, and we saw several storage facilities. It was weird though, because not one single facility required masks. No one was wearing them. We all got handshakes, hugs. It's, I guess, different everywhere you go. So we were doing the same thing that your facility managers would be doing. We were going into storage locations. We were going into businesses and introducing ourselves as the Arizona Self-Storage Association, because our board likes to put faces to names. And it was business as usual, which was kind of weird. We talked a lot about occupancy though, which was a hot topic. Everybody, as soon as we walked in, have you heard anybody else around me having any availability? So
nope.
So they were very curious about that, but everybody was very welcoming, and it was business as usual. We were ready though with masks, in case they wanted them.
Yeah, I think the overall guide is to follow your local area's guidelines, whatever has been recommended, whatever if you have mask mandates in place, obey them, and I think people are comforted by the fact that when you're approaching, you have a smile on your face. Wearing a mask feels so unnatural. I'm going to get one printed with my smile on it, I think, because it's so welcoming. I think one of the things that's lost with the masks is seeing that happy, smiling person approaching you. One of the things I tell my managers when they do on the ground marketing and go out visiting, before their hand touches the door to open that business, they need to have a smile on their face, because as you sit there at work, and all of us know sitting at work, you're approached by different customers, and especially in moving and storage, they're having a rough day. Like, moving is not a fun day. It's a rough day. So you're sitting there, and every person who comes in the door, they're frowning, or they're, stone faced, and nobody's happy. So when you see that happy person approaching, it's a whole different ball game. It's energizing, and it feels good to see that person coming. So the mask thing disappoints me a little bit, but there's some things that can be done to visit.
Yeah, I think this is also
I need a link to that. Sorry, Grace.
Go ahead.
I just want to shout the link for the map.
This is a unique opportunity too for us as marketers, especially if you are in charge of doing your property marketing, and either you are uncomfortable going physically to someplace, or that place is uncomfortable with you coming inside and you're not buying whatever they're selling. This is a cool opportunity for us to think creatively about how to reach them. And so we've tried like engagement bundles where we actually ship a package to that apartment complex or to that real estate agent. We've pre-ordered pizza and had the pizza deliver it, because there's just a level of comfort with pizza being delivered through the pizza guy and not through yourself as walking in. Or even like a virtual coffee and chat where you send them a $5 virtual gift card through email, and then they zoom in.
I love that.
Just check in virtually. I mean, everybody is getting very accustomed to virtual check-ins. And so that's something that we've challenged our property managers to do. Also lean heavily on phone calls and lean heavier on emails. It's not ideal. We want to be like physically present in our communities. But at this point in time, that's an opportunity to lean in on those other kind of ways of communication, since we can't be in person as often.
Yeah, I love that you said that.
On the emails, we've kind of gauged how they're feeling if we stop by. Do you mind if I stop by? Some are like, absolutely not. Yeah. But some are like, sure, stop by between 2 and 3. That's my slow time. So we've leaned on those emails for our site visits and for our marketing, because we can kind of gauge how they feel about us stopping by.
Yep. And to your point, Grace, about virtual events, I'm glad that you mentioned, or virtual visits that way. I'm glad you mentioned that, because we've actually instituted several virtual events through the last year because we love to have on-site events. Normally, hundreds of people show up for an event, customer appreciation or whatever it is on site. We can't do that right now. It's, according to the CDC and the guidelines, it's been a little crazy. So we've actually encouraged our managers to do a virtual event that they promote through their social media channels, and maybe it's a scavenger hunt, and they've gone out in the local 5-mile radius and found the sign that points to the east by whatever, or the big cowboy, or whatever you can find in your local area, and get people to complete the scavenger hunt and then turn in their scavenger hunt sheet for a prize, and you get your other local businesses to donate prizes, and just kind of create some awareness and engagement with your local market as well. So anything you can do virtually. If anybody needs suggestions, I've got a whole ton of ideas on virtual events, so just hit me up.
That's awesome. Yeah, those are great suggestions. All right, we've
How do
got
we get
about
invited to those?
Yeah. We may know someone. We have about 5 minutes left, 4 minutes left. If anyone from the audience has any remaining questions, please act now or forever hold your peace. Speak now or forever hold your peace. But I'll direct a question real quick to Alonna as it relates to auctions and online auctioning. Give us some good tidbits and tricks of the trade on how to really properly market their online auctions that they're doing, if they're doing online auctions, or even if they're not.
So I'd say the best thing is don't be scared to market your auctions. I've had a lot of locations tell me, well, I don't share auctions because I don't want people thinking I'm going to sell their stuff. First off, it teaches them a lesson. I will sell your stuff if you don't pay your bill. So the second one, I'm actually going to take a page from STACIE. They have a full year calendar at their facility with little stars on it. That's the entire year of we are holding auctions on this day. It
Yep.
kind of puts it out there of we are going to expect you to pay your bills. So do your part and pay it so we don't have to do our part and sell your stuff. And then as far as marketing them, share them, put them on your social media, advertise at your storage facility. We even have stickers that we can send your facility saying where your auctions are held. So you have a visual at your facility saying this is where you can go. Yet again, it teaches your tenants, pay your bill. We're serious. We will sell your stuff. So that's the best thing, is to actually not be afraid to market it, because people will pay their bills when they see you're serious.
That's right.
They definitely will. We're getting some really good comments out there. Thank you, everyone, for being so kind. And thank you, ladies, for joining us. I'm going to put a quick comment in here. I believe all of us will be at the Self-Storage Association trade show coming up in Vegas in a couple weeks. I just put the link in there. If you're not registered yet, by all means, go to selfstorageevents.org. You can register to attend and come see all of us live in person. And then next week, we will have another one of these lovely doodads we like to call Self-Storage Unlock. We will be talking with tenant insurance. So join us next week at our regularly scheduled time, which is 2 o'clock. And that will be with the SBOA tenant insurance team. They will be giving you some great information on the program, the benefits of the program, and why they've been rated number 1 by ISS for the past 9 years in a row. So go SBOA TI. And stick around. We have a message for you before we conclude today's webinar. That's right, everyone. Another virtual event produced by the SBOA coming to you November 3rd, 11 to 5. We will have 2 educational tracks, networking opportunities, a virtual expo hall, and so much more for you in store. Thank you again for joining us. I hope you got a lot of information today. Tune in next week at 2 p.m. for the SBOA TI version of Self-Storage Unlocked. Thanks for joining. Have a great afternoon. Take care.